What's up, guys? We're back, episode 30 with Peter Barnes from Been Better. You might remember him from episode 7, but he's back with some big news. What's up, Peter?
What's up? How's it going, brother? Thanks for having me back.
It is wonderful, and we have this organized because you wanted to drop some news. So if you want to just go ahead and let us know what you got.
Yeah, so Been Better, we are dropping a new single called Sharpness, and it is scheduled for release on May 5th on all platforms, but it is, my phone's going off.
Who's texting me?
Releasing it early on Digging In with Tyler. So, yeah, we heard it early.
Nobody's ever done that for me, and I really appreciate it.
Man.
That's awesome that you're doing that, I guess, on the podcast, because obviously I got to listen to the song already because I have what's called priority. No, it was a great song. What I like about it the most, I'm obviously a big fan of you. You get to do a little bit of screaming in there, huh?
Yeah. I think in general, you know, as we've started to write more and more music with Dingus, we've kind of just naturally started to incorporate more of my vocals into it. I think like any band that has multiple competent singers should 100% take advantage of that. So even like in this track, and also like in other tracks too, like other new tracks, there's a lot of me singing in it as well. So I think this one's a good example, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're a good harmonizer. You and Dingus are a great pair.
Yeah, I pretty much write all the harmonies, and I can also, I'm usually the one that records them too. It kind of depends, just because I can sing really high, so I kind of need that. But
when Dingus was on, I called him out on something. Connor was saying something about, yeah, Dingus is the main lyricist, and he writes every single lyric. And then I said something, I can't remember what song it was. There's one song where he didn't write the lyrics, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Peter wrote those."
The engineer in the chorus.
Yeah, what are the lyrics?
I need to forget you.
Yeah, you so embarrassed.
I wrote the chorus. I wrote the chorus to that song, and then he wrote the rest of it. He like took that and then wrote a skeleton around it.
Gotcha. And with this song, how much of it is written by you, and how much is written by Dingus?
I think I'm trying to think. Dingus pretty much wrote all the lyrics, 100%. I mean, I don't really contribute lyrically hardly at all. The engineer was an anomaly in that sense. You know, I think Connor and I are both pretty like, we don't want anything to do with lyrics for the most part. Like, we'll have an idea and we'll like pitch a line and say, hey, it'd be cool if you use this line. But typically, yeah, we kind of let Dingus do everything because we don't want to do it.
He's got that kind of crazy ability, similar to Garrett from Silent Planet. Like, the lyrics he uses are so, some of the words are so out of my vocabulary where I'm like,
yeah, they really are. They really, dude, that dude's got an English degree. Like, he just knows, he knows all the words.
Dr. Dingus, that's right. He could have been a Dr. Dingus.
Could have been Dr. Dingus. Yep,
See,
you're right.
He didn't tell us that he was an English major. I guess that makes sense. Like, I'm listening to the songs and I'm like singing back and I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But
we have synced lyrics on some of the singles on like Apple Music, so you can like follow along to what he's saying. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll show you. For some reason, it's like only on the singles. Like, if you go to any of the EPs or the splits, there's no synced lyrics. But like, if I play this track, we have synced lyrics. Pretty cool. Yep.
Yep. I've only heard that song about 1 million times.
Really? Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
That's a song we're probably gonna always. I don't think we're ever gonna not play that song.
Gotcha.
I think like we've played that song forever. It's always a hit. It's always a great ending track. That's sort of what we use it for. It's just to end. But yeah,
There's another song. God dang it. It's not Real Talk. I don't
Big
think
Talk.
it's Big Talk. It's not Big Talk. There's another song that I really like that I've never heard you guys play live.
Hope of?
I'm sorry?
Despite or in hope of?
No. You guys can play that live. There's a song. Screw it. I'll remember it after the podcast. But I'm just like, that song is so great. But I guess you only get to pick 4 or 5 songs, and obviously you're going to pick the ones that do the best.
Yeah. I mean, we pick, the thing with us is our genre, like we don't really have a super specific genre. So like our music tends to float in between like really heavy and really poppy. So that gives us the flexibility that when depending on the offer we have, we can just pick and choose songs that fit really well. We tend to mostly get heavier offers. So we tend to do more heavy sets than anything, and the song that's coming out is a very heavy track. So we're excited.
And this is the first one with Grant as the drummer, correct?
Yeah, first one with Grant as the drummer. So
that's funny because when I was listening to it, I had Jeff in the car and I'm like, hey, this is Grant on the drums. Don't forget, this is Grant on the drums. We've been friends with Grant for quite a long time, so it's kind of like a bragging right. I'm like, I know this guy. I know this guy that's playing the drums right now.
Grant is a hilariously good drummer. It's been really, really great working with him.
Yeah, he's a machine, but
like literally, like he learns so fast. Like I'll send him a song, and then he's like the next day he's like, all right, I got it down. Here's a video of me playing it.
Right.
I'm like, what the heck, dude? So
he was doing that challenge. Well, I don't even know if he considered it a challenge. He was doing that on
I don't think
Facebook.
it was a challenge. He was just like, give me songs to cover, and like the next day he's got them all up. It's insane.
Well, he didn't cover my song. I asked him to cover Reptile by Thornhill, but I guess I'm just not anything.
Oh well. I mean, Home Dude can play Tooth and Claw by Animals as Leaders, and once you do that, it's like, yeah.
Whatever you got to say, I totally agree with.
Yeah.
All right, but let's do this. This is going to be a first on the podcast. Right now, for the first time, these viewers of the podcast are going to hear the song Sharpness. And what date is it coming out? 5/5, correct?
May 5th.
May 5th, but it's coming out early on this podcast. So enjoy and start the track now.
Pushing of what
All right. Hopefully you like that song. It's, like I said, it's pretty dope. What direction are you guys moving from that? Are you guys going to be recording an EP once this whole
Yeah.
blows over?
So we, a lot of things happened. We've been better. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but I think when I was last on the podcast, we were kind of talking about the plans that we were doing, and a lot of things happened. A lot of things changed. The reason why we have Grant as a drummer. And so a lot of our plans kind of got pushed off. So we didn't really know what we were going to do, like regarding an EP or anything. So we were just like, let's just record 3 songs. So we went out to Jeremy, we've tracked 3 songs. And that way, over the course of the year, we have content. We have a song that we can release every few months.
Nice.
While we kind of take the time to think about what is our next move going to be, because we really we needed time to sort of recenter ourselves and think about what we wanted to do. So what ended up happening is we tracked the 3 songs, and then pretty quickly we knew that we're just going to do another EP. We were going to record these 3 songs, release them as singles, and then record an EP later in the year with no rush, just getting to it. And then that's kind of the next move for the band. But it's cool because like the 3 songs that we're releasing, they're really unique. They're a lot different than what we typically would put on an EP. But yeah, it's going to be cool. But it's a lot of these, I think we're just happy to be releasing music more often. I think that's a really big thing with any band is releasing music frequently. So I'm hyped that we get to do that for at least the next few months.
It's almost like you guys planned it perfectly. I mean, you guys already have the 3 songs recorded now that the coronavirus is
the
nation.
So we're just gonna be dropping. I have no idea. We haven't decided because we have 2 other songs besides Sharpness to release, and we have not at all figured out when those 2 are gonna come out. But they literally just exist on the back end, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, it is convenient. I don't want to say convenient, but I mean, it is a good coincidence that.
No, did you guys know something? Did you guys know something about this beforehand?
We did not.
All right. I just had to ask. It wasn't just me. Like all the fans.
I wouldn't have gone on. I don't think I would have gone on tour if I would have known about that.
Okay, fair enough. And one thing that we were talking about beforehand is kind of the impact that it's had on the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that you had brought up is like everybody's going to be rushing to book stuff, and it's going to be everything's going to be so packed. So I guess, Mr. President Peter Barnes, what's your solution here? How do you keep stuff from being congested?
Oh man, I think it is a difficult solution, but I mean the primary concern is going to be that you're going to have a bunch of tours and a bunch of festivals that are all kind of fighting for the same time. So I don't know. I feel like bands are going to have to sacrifice a lot of shows to make it happen, because I get the impression that, you're not going to get to choose to do a Friday show. It's just going to be whatever day you get is what you get. So I imagine that a lot of tours are going to be pretty broken up in like, you'll do a show like every couple of days versus like one every single day.
Gotcha.
I think tours are going to have a lot more off dates just because they're going to be bouncing around what shows they're able to get. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be unprecedented. I think whatever ends up happening will have never happened before. But who knows? It's going to be weird.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, everybody's anxious to get back out, but at the same time,
I think house shows are going to blow up.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Because it's going to be hard for a local band to book like a venue, because I guarantee you that once this is all over, venues and promoters are going to be getting offers from like actual bands, like regional touring bands. and they're going to prioritize that for better sales. And then local bands are kind of going to, they might get on those shows, but as far as the booking local shows, I think it's going to get really tough. And I think like you're going to see a lot more house shows, a lot more DIY stuff, which could be, I think that's a good thing. But who knows? It's going to be weird.
We're back to 2008 days where you had Chiodos playing in a front room.
I think it's going to be really good. It's going to be either really good or really bad for audience members.
Weigh that out. So what would be
Well, so
bad?
you're gonna have, so you know, whenever all this stuff is done, you're gonna have like a month. You're gonna have like a 2-month period of just shows like every day, and I think people who live in that area are gonna be like, hell yeah, I get to go see dope shows every single day. But then on the other half, you're gonna have folks that are like, I can't afford to see shows every single day. And originally, the tours were more spread out, so I would have time to like save money and go to more shows. So it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be good and bad, but we'll see.
We'll see when it all comes out. And if you were to make a prediction, and I know you're not a disease control type of guy, I guess I'm going. Okay. If you were to take a guess, if you were to say, hey, Ben Better wants to play the first show in this month, what would you guess?
Like, oh, and okay, I'm gonna say probably like November.
November. Whoa.
Like that's what I like. If someone was like, hey, like take a gamble and book a show, I'd probably play it a little safer and go for November. I've been seeing folks reschedule tours for like August and September. I've like seen that happen. But I think if I was going to try to do it, I'd probably shoot for November. But I don't know. I mean, I've seen people say like fall of 2021 is when we'll start back up again, which I don't know if I believe that, but also like I could be wrong. It could totally be the case. But
yeah, I think people are to the point where they just don't want to believe it. You know,
yeah,
they just want to get back to normal. They want to get back to normalcy. They want to see stuff back soon. But if we don't take the precautions, perhaps it could be pushed back even longer.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of variables. There's a lot of confusion. I have no idea. It's going to be super wacky for a little bit while everyone's figuring all that stuff out. But
we'll just have to move down to Texas because I think Texas is opening back up. Is what I
really?
I know the beaches of Florida. I don't know if that's by choice or if that's by law. I know that the beaches of Florida got opened up this weekend.
Cool. Yeah, I don't. I'm sort of in a position where, like, I don't know anything about disease prevention or how to control a pandemic, and frankly, no, the world doesn't do that either. So I'm just gonna hang back and just when it works, it'll work. But that's it for now.
So I guess we'll make a transition here to your photography. I mean, obviously you can't play music. You're a photographer as well.
Yeah.
How has that, I guess?
So I've been fortunate. I've been pretty fortunate in my current situation because, you know, I was supposed to be on tour with War of Ages until May 17th. So what that meant was that I had nothing planned. I had no shoots, no weddings, till after May 17th. So what that means is that once my tour got canceled, I haven't had any direct cancellations because I've had a lot of friends in the industry who had a bunch of weddings through March and a bunch of weddings through April, and they're all postponed or a lot of them are canceled. So a lot of my friends got hit pretty hard. I am okay for now, but it's really, really uncertain going forward. It's testing a lot of people for sure. You know, I'm seeing a lot of folks trying to exit the industry just because like a lot of people can't survive given the conditions. But you know, for now, I'm making it work. It's these times that I'm thankful that I have relatively low living costs because I can stretch money out pretty far. but not everyone's that fortunate. But it's gonna be an interesting year for sure.
Now, another thing I wanted to touch on is you see a lot of people in the music scene dabble in photography, and some make it far. Let's just say Randy Edwards.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
He's probably taking it the farthest. Why do those two correlate so well, like the music scene and photography?
Well, I think it's tough. I think what happens is folks get into music pretty early in their life. Like I'll use me for example. So like I got into music pretty early in my life. I started playing guitar when I was 11. So it's been about 12 years for me. And I think a lot of kids want to play music just because it's cool, it's fun. And a lot of kids might not be exposed to photography a whole lot. Music is idolized. You see it everywhere. You kind of get this vision. I think it kind of builds this envy. You want to do that. So a lot of kids start to pursue music, and depending on how far they go in music will kind of dictate how exposed they are to that industry. And I think what happens is over time, you see people starting to get exposed to photography as they're older. I was a photographer when I was 18. That's when I started, or just before I turned 18. So when you're older, you start to pursue different things. And with photography, it was a really natural transition because when you're in the music industry, when you're in the local scene, you know how to navigate all that stuff in regards to photography. So for me, starting photography, it just made the most sense to shoot music because I was already so ingratiated in that community. But yeah, I think that's why they correlate a lot, is because musicians get into photography and concert photography is the most accessible for them at that point.
Hey, let's do a little segment here. Let's shout out a couple photographers. So I'll go. Flakus, obviously, great photographer.
Dude, Flakus is making me real happy just because like he reminds me a lot of me when I started out, because like I can totally see in Flakus that like he's new, but he's working so damn hard to just make it happen. And I've seen his work improve, so I'm really hyped to see where he goes for sure.
Nathan Schwery, another one.
Yeah.
Beautiful. He's kind of a juggernaut. He can play music. He can do photography. Like he's one of those people who he's like a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
you can ask him anything, he can do it.
Totally. Yeah, Nathan has taken some of our favorite photos for Been Better. We use him a lot. When he was he shot us at Fit for a King, and we use those photos a lot.
Shout out to Nathan Schwery.
Yeah, I gotta shout out Gage Hanson all day, every day.
Gage is nice. Hey, let's talk about a little tie-in between you and Gage. You guys did a split way back.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the new songs? Thought
I
out?
did. Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you see how quick that blew up?
Yeah, I did see it. It was cool. It's a good track.
It got posted on like Ghost Killer Entertainment or something like that. And the last time I checked it, it was up to 28,000 views.
Yeah, Gage is really good at hustling and getting good exposure for that kind of stuff. I ask him a lot of questions about like band marketing and that kind of stuff. He seems to kind of like he has a really good knack of figuring it out, like and just trying shit. He's really good at that. So I'm hyped for him. They're hitting it really good.
Yeah, Everbloom is turning into something. I guess I shouldn't say turning into something. They are something big at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I see those guys moving on out eventually.
Yeah, and they're gonna do stuff for sure.
Fingers crossed. Go Everbloom. And
yep.
And I'll tell you, and I've told Dingus, and I've told Connor, and I've told Grant. Anytime I try to explain your music or your guys' like sound to somebody, it's impossible.
Really, yeah.
I can't put a genre on you guys. So, like, Connor said post-hardcore. I don't agree with that.
Post-hardcore is what Jeremy said.
Oh, Jeremy. Okay, what?
So like if you go to Jeremy's website, allpoeticaudio.com, he has his portfolio, and he has us genred as post-hardcore. So we kind of just were like, all right, well, that's cool. We'll just use that.
Fair enough. What would you say you were?
Post-hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never one into genres where somebody's like, yeah, oh, you're not a fan of metalcore? Do you like hardcore? I'm just like,
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously, sure, but I think post-hardcore is broad enough to allow for, like, I think everyone's going to have a different idea of what post-hardcore means to them. You know, in my head, when I hear post-hardcore, I think of Census Fail. And Census Fail has influenced our writing pretty heavily, especially more in the beginning. They're a band that I like a lot and I looked up to for a long time. So that's a band that I reference a lot for writing and inspiration. But
fair enough. Like I said, I never know how to explain to you guys. I just say listen to them. Oh, I plugged you guys pretty good. Do you know who Devin Attard is?
No.
He's the drummer of Hollow Front.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, I know that guy.
Okay. So I sent him a playlist. Oh, and more breaking news. He's coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I heard. I saw that.
What the fuck? I cannot explain to you how hyped I am about that one.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Tyler Tate came on a couple weeks ago, and he's the frontman of Hollow Front.
Heck yeah. They're good dudes. They're a lot of fun. We love playing with them.
Yeah, you guys played that show. Shit, what was I getting at here?
You plugged us?
Oh, yeah. I made a playlist of a whole bunch of Omaha bands and sent it to Devin so that way he could listen to you guys.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it. That's awesome.
You got it. Now, if I'm just saying, if this goes somewhere and he's like, yeah, my new favorite band has been better, you've got to pay me some money. So that's all I'm asking.
Sure. Whatever we got to do.
All right, $500,000. That's all I'm asking. Small price. It's not, Peter, listen, let me convince you. Think about where you'll be in 5 years. You'll be in a mansion. You'll be driving a Lambo. And all you have to do is push me $500,000.
I don't think you know how the music industry works.
What is that supposed to mean, Peter? Yeah. No, I do know.
A few other things have to happen for you to get a mansion playing music.
Nuh-uh. Franz has a mansion and he has a Lambo.
Franz from Attila?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he does have those things, yeah. But Attila did a lot more than just pay you $500,000.
Could you imagine if that idea worked? You're like, okay, we will pay $500,000, and
yeah, you get one person to do that, and you're set. You're good.
Yeah, this is my marketing scheme, and like it's worked for no bands yet, but you could be the first.
you could be the first to use cutting edge technology.
Like Shark Tank, except for hardware. Shark Tank for Omaha bands. That's what I would be.
Oh God. Yeah.
Listen, I will invest. I'll give you 1% of the company if you give me $500,000.
Oh my God. I'm imagining Mark Cuban just dying.
He's having an aneurysm, and then the girl, like both the girls are like, oh, I don't think I could pitch that on QVC. It's not. This band is not made of Tupperware, and I made my
a lot of influence in QVC, and I just don't see this working in that market.
Oh, I'm glad you totally understand the reference. Oh,
yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, another thing. Before the podcast started, for those who are listening, we were talking about school mascots. And the reason I bring this up is because if Ben Better was to have a band mascot, what do you think it'd be?
Oh my God, that's a good question. Oh man, I don't know exactly what a mascot would be. What I do know is that we use flowers in our branding a lot.
Okay.
So A band mascot would probably be someone in a flower costume.
Someone in a flower costume.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Like literally, like a lot of our branding and a lot of future branding, like a lot of the stuff for a new EP is flowers. Like it's just we use it a lot. I'm cool with it. I think it's cool, but
Floral's just dope. It's just dope all around.
So good.
I mean, if I see a shirt with a flower on it, I've got to buy it. We'll be honest.
Yeah, we have a few. We have a few of those.
Okay, I've only bought a couple of your shirts, but I'll buy more. I promise you.
Cool.
Tell Dingus to like drive by. He lives in Omaha, right?
Yep.
What's his address? just give me his address and like the make and model of his car, and I could just go find him.
Give me his address. Give me his credit card number and the 3 numbers in the back, and we'll begin to go.
Yeah. That's all. That's all I'm asking. No, I'll buy some merch from you guys. Obviously, I'm trying to make a thing happen right now where like every 2 weeks when I get paid, I just go buy merch from the local bands, especially during this coronavirus thing. Like I went over to Josh Bratton's house and bought a Withered Decay shirt. Went over to Michael Sheehy's place and bought a Yoga for Cats shirt. Mm-hmm. And then Mike has hooked me up with a Withered Fang shirt. So I've got 3 shirts. I'm gonna be repping each week. I'm gonna try to obviously wear it on the podcast, but today I've got a 1 of 10 shirt. Mm-hmm. Digging in with Tyler's shirt, and more breaking news. Merch is coming soon. Just keep your eyes peeled, pretty please. It's coming soon. Awesome. Now, back to the show here. You were speaking about War of Ages earlier, and you were on tour with them for 3 months, correct?
That was supposed to be, yeah.
Okay, so how did that whole process happen? I know photography is big, but how does a band come to you with that proposition? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so when I toured, so War of Ages found me through Earth Groans. You know, Earth Groans and War of Ages have toured together, and I toured with Earth Groans last year. So War of Ages is like, hey, we want someone to come out and do some more cinematography, more photography. And so Earth Groans gave them my info, and then they were like, yeah, we're going out for basically 3 months, and they wanted to bring me out, film videos, and take photos. So it was a lot. It was really cool. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on the priorities of the band, you know, if they want that, because not every band has a tour photographer, but it's important for some bands.
Now, how hard is it to just, well, I guess, how hard is it to drop everything and just leave and go out to tour as a photographer?
So
because
it depends. So one of the great things about being self-employed is that I do make my own schedule, so I can pick and choose when I work. The problem is, because I'm a wedding photographer, I have a lot of obligations that have a lot of money behind them. And so, like, for example, like if I go on tour for a month and there's a wedding in the middle of that month, I can't go on that tour. Just because it'd be way too much effort, like flying back and forth to go for part of the tour, then come back, shoot a wedding, and then fly back out to the tour. It'd be a lot. So what it means is that I have a lot of free time, but then also like no free time in that sense. So with War of Ages, it was literally just a miracle that I happened to be free for all of those months. I guess I had nothing in that time, so it took no effort for me to just say, all right, I'm gone for 3 months, because they reached out like end of December to get this stuff planned. So on like 2 months notice to leave for 3 months is I'm very fortunate to have that flexibility. But again, like it could also not happen just as easily, because if I have 1 or 2 weddings in that time frame, I can't do that. And especially now it's been difficult because even if I don't have any weddings in a later month, I don't know if my couples are going to have to postpone to said month. So like August, for example, I don't have anything planned for August. So theoretically, I could tour in August, but I've got couples that might want to reschedule to August, and I need to be responsible and be there for them make that work. So it's a really, really weird game of scheduling, but when it works, it's really great.
Now, if you could explain to me, I guess, how does a touring photographer, I guess, where does the ladder end? So, for example, you started with Earth Groans, which is a regional act. I mean, they're touring pretty often, right?
Yeah.
You work your way up to War of Ages, which has been around for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
What comes next for a touring
I mean,
photographer?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I don't really have a plan. Like, it's just whoever makes the offer, if I'm being totally honest. Like, the ladder is kind of just how far you want to go. I mean, how much do you want to tour, and who do you know? Because the thing is, every band has friends who are in bigger bands and smaller bands. So when you tour with one band, they have connections above and below themselves. So technically, every time you tour with a band, you should be able to at some point get it in with a higher band, and then another band, and then another band, and eventually you're doing what Randy's doing, touring with As I Lay Dying or Five Finger Death Punch. And I think at that point, like, I don't know where you go from there, but that's sort of the top in my head. But that's kind of how that works, at least from my understanding.
He's living it up. I thoroughly. It's so crazy to think about Randy, who used to be in Superior, even before that, he was just at shows, and now he's touring the world with Periphery, or like you said, his big touring acts.
Totally, it's crazy.
It's nuts. Is that something you want to pursue? I understand.
No idea.
Yeah, say you have a band that's kind of a little bit more important.
I think I will make that decision if it becomes a possibility.
Gotcha.
Like right now, I have no idea how much I'm going to tour. I have no idea what bands are going to reach out to me. So I can't really make a decision on that. But if the offers start coming in and it becomes a possibility that I might be able to pursue that kind of lifestyle, then I make that call. But you're right. Like, my band is very important to me, and I want to continue, working on that. But who knows? Anything can change.
Yeah, Dingus is getting old.
He's getting old.
Daddy Dingus, he's like, what, 30?
33.
31? He's getting old, man. He's going to start being in a wheelchair here soon.
He's got me beat by a decade.
Isn't that nuts? But your guys' writing process meshes so well.
It works. Yeah, and I think we have a very open writing process. A lot of bands, I think especially now, the writing process has really become much more important because bands can't get together. Bands can't practice together. So we've been writing remotely for a long time. So we've been able to make it through this time because we don't need to be together to write music. So that has been great. I think a lot of bands are realizing that they need to have that system in place for times like these when they can't be together.
Now, if you were to give any advice to somebody maybe listening, or a band that's maybe struggling with like virtually practicing, how would you guys, or what advice would you give to them as far as like bouncing back ideas? Like, what programs to use?
So, I mean, someone in, there's no excuse anymore. Someone in a band's got to know how to record. Like, even on a very rudimentary level, someone in your band needs to know how to record music, and that is kind of where it all starts. Like, I do all of our production, so I'll write a song, I'll put it in Logic, and just write the drums, write the guitar, write the bass, do whatever, and then I just send audio file back and forth to band members to get feedback and all that stuff. And the important thing is just every band member has to become proficient at practicing independently, because there really isn't a good way for like 4 guys to be on a video chat practicing. Right. Not really a thing. Every member has got to get good at practicing by themselves with an audio file, with a video, whatever you got to have. Every band's different. But I think it's really, really important for bands to become independently sufficient. It's not going to be, if your band can get together once a week, Like that is a luxury that will not last. And we realized that a long time ago, 2016, 2017, we were like, we're getting together once a week right now, but it will not happen. It will not last forever. And our band, we resisted it for a while. We did not want to adopt remote writing for a while, but we were forced to, just had to happen.
Well, I mean, if you even look at some of the big bands, let's say Periphery, for the longest time, they had Nolly, who lives in England, and then all of their members are spread out from the U.S., and they just get together to tour.
Exactly, and a lot of bands live like that. I think it's a great reality because I think it's great to be in that position because it means that you can have whoever you want in your band. You don't have to have just local people in your band. You can be in a band with folks from like War of Ages. They are spread out everywhere, and they get together to tour and record. And that's how I think it's going to be that's going to be pretty much all bands at this point.
Well, if we learned anything from the coronavirus, shit, maybe that's it.
Learn
a new lesson. Learn how to record. Do better on your own.
I think learning recording is like the single most important thing I can tell someone to do is learn how to record.
Perfect. Well, Peter, let's wrap this thing up. So, if you want to pitch your song again, it's called Sharpness. Comes out May 5th officially. It'll be on Spotify, all that good stuff. Correct?
Yeah, everywhere.
But it'll be on our podcast first. Obviously, if it's on the podcast, you've already listened to it, so you got a sneak peek. You actually got to listen to the whole song, so you're well. Thank Peter for actually coming on and exposing that song to you a couple days early.
Heck yeah.
And then you guys got merch, obviously.
Yep.
Where do you find it?
BeenBetterBand.com.
Anything else on there? BeenBetterBand.com. CDs.
And we have CDs on there, but I mean we're pretty much out of CDs, so they're gonna be out of stock. So, but they're there.
Gotcha. And where can they find you next, Peter?
Huh?
I said, where can they find you next, Peter?
What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing.
I'm saying, when's your next show? It's a joke.
Oh God, I have no idea. Who knows? Anyone's guess is as good as mine.
All right, we're gonna aim for November. So, if anything, Peter, I'll see you late November. I'm just kidding. We'll meet up before then.
Heck yeah, man.
Anything else you want to say to everybody?
No, I think I'm good. Good to hang out.
Definitely. And once again, that's episode 30 with Peter Barnes. Hopefully you enjoyed him, the new song, and the knowledge he gave you. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.